Would you like to watch a recap of Resident Evil 7? Oh, sure, why not? I have played RE7, so this will not be a surprise to me.
Okay. Where to start?
Okay.
Name? It's Ethan. Ethan Winters. It's been 3 years since everything happened at the Baker house.
3 years?
I was looking for my wife, who disappeared. I got an email from her. She told me to come get her. And of course, that's how I ended up in the middle of nowhere, Louisiana.
They totally want to say middle buttfuck
I found
nowhere.
Mia being held captive in a dark basement. She wasn't thinking right. She attacked me like some kind of wild animal.
We've seen all this in my gameplay.
Later on, I found out that she was infected by a special kind of mold.
And then I died to her
I looked all
chainsaw.
over the house trying to find an antidote, a vaccine, anything. The people who lived there were already infected. What was left of them wasn't human. The source of the infection was a bioweapon that looked like a little girl. Her name was Evelyn. I fought the fucked up family and was able to treat Mia's symptoms with a serum.
They didn't even
Then Chris
explain.
Redfield and his soldier buddies showed up and saved the both of us.
I guess it's Chris Redfield full name.
Is that enough?
No, you didn't cover the fact
I
that.
really don't want to talk about what happened anymore.
No, you didn't talk about at all the fact that your wife.
It's all over now.
That your wife literally was the reason. So his wife was the one bringing the bioweapon, her and her partner, and they were on a ship, and the ship crashing was caused by the bioweapon Evelyn getting out that she was transferring. He didn't even mention the fact that it was all his wife's fault. We played through that memory sequence. What? Does Ethan canonically not know his wife did that? There's no way, right? Like, canonically, he has to know, right? Or maybe he didn't care? Maybe he already knew? What the hell are they... What? That can't be right. What's the max image quality? Oh, it's not. Wait, it wasn't even that high. Was it like 2? Let's do 2. Why not? Let's do 2. Let's do it. Look at it. We got graphics memory in here. Anti-aliasing or aliasing? Aliasing? I don't know. Variable freight shading, texture quality high. We'll leave that mid. Ray tracing. What? Did I just reset this? Because I didn't mean to. Oh, it sets me all the way back to the top for whatever reason. That's kind of dumb. Is ray tracing like bad? I don't know. I don't know. Volumetric lighting quality. The picture is literally not changing, so we're just gonna leave it. Oh, wait. Okay, we're just gonna leave it low because it doesn't look like it actually changes that much. Subsurface scattering. I'll just leave that off. Film noise. Let's just leave that off. Depth of field. All right, let's leave everything else on fine. Yeah, virtual sound, oddly in my headphones was not I'm guessing virtual sound. It says turn on for headphones, but it was weird. Like, I couldn't hear Ethan at all, and I don't know if it's because I'm playing Ethan, so like I technically shouldn't be able to hear him. Like, I don't know what the effect they were going for was, but it was really weird. And I get, like, I was supposed to, like, whoever I was facing is, I could tell I was hearing them, like, as if they were back, like, if the guy was here, I could hear him coming from that direction. But Ethan, I couldn't hear at all. And I think it's because, like, virtual sound doesn't account for your speaking character. So it was weird. So I'm just gonna leave it off because, yeah, it was just better off. Great. So this is all that other stuff. The screen filter. Oh, does that just put the camera filter on? Tape recorder save point. Change the save point to Resident Evil 7 tape recorders. I don't really need that. Save for me. I kind of want to experience the game as it is. Like, I didn't dislike 7, so like I didn't dislike 7, but like I'd rather play this game as is before I start affecting it with, like, you know, mods and added stuff. Movies, special bonus Resident Evil movies. Tragedy of Ethan Winters concept art. So I don't want to look at this. Read a report on events after the Baker incident from Resident Evil 7. The Baker incident report. This report depicts my investigation into the events after the incident at the Baker's residence. Baker's incident, July 2017. A number of people lost their lives at the residence in the middle of the American countryside. It was a truly horrifying tragedy. I still don't know the exact number of victims. 2 survivors, husband and wife Ethan and Mia Winters, were able to shed some light on the events which would have shook the world, but there was a cover-up. There was a cover-up, and the Winterses vanished. Oh. There's someone or something powerful acting behind the scenes. I just know it. I decided to investigate to follow the breadcrumbs of what happened after. Wait. So, Neo Umbrella covered this up. I decided to investigate to follow the breadcrumbs of what happened after. So how can I be so sure? Because I'm someone who was there. Is this Chris? First of all, how was this incident reported upon in its discovery by the world? Let's take a look at some newspaper clippings from the time to see how the news was manipulated. 1. Discovery of the incident. This is 80 pages, guys. Local newspaper, the Dulvey Daily, July 22nd, 2017. Family 4 found dead in Dulvey. So this is a newspaper we saw in Resident Evil 7. Dulvey County Sheriff Office was reported that the Baker family were found dead in their home in North Dulvey on the 21st July. The surrounding details are currently unknown. Apart from the deaths of Jack Baker, his wife Marguerite, their son Lucas, and daughter Zoe, Deputy Sheriff Dave Anderson also has been missing since the 19th. He died in Resident Evil 7. According to the Deputy Sheriff Riley Whiteford, who visited the Baker's residence around the time of his disappearance. Social media post, July 22nd, 2017. That thing with the dead family, wasn't that where that giant black monster was? You think they were eaten by that thing? No way, it's not some cheesy horror movie. Old man Jack did say some crazy stuff. I remember him getting into a lot of fights. He's probably killed the whole family, then offed himself. Whoa. Transcript of a complaint to the country sheriff's office. I don't believe it. It's been 2 days already, but you haven't reported anything else. Was it a murder, an accident, a suicide? And what's with this National Guard sealing the place off? What are you all hiding? Very little was reported shortly after the Baker incident was discovered, leading to rapid spread of rumors and speculation. The Bakers were completely isolated from the rest of the community, and sealing off the entire area around their home set things in motion. I recall that there sure was a lot of public pressure on the press for information. I admit that at the time I was being held in quarantine by a certain organization and couldn't see any of the news for myself. They finally allowed me to watch TV a few days after, and I was flabbergasted by the stark difference between the reports and the reality. So, if you haven't seen Resident Evil 7 at the end, basically, like right when you beat Jack, as his final form, Neo Umbrella flies in, saving, like, coming to clear the rest of the house of monsters, and who comes in but none other than a different looking Chris Redfield working with Neo Umbrella. Now you find out in the Chris Redfield DLC that he's not actually working with them happily. Like he's only working with them because the BSAA are trying to open up to the Neo Umbrella, who's basically a section of Umbrella who's trying to clean up the mistakes of the Umbrella organization from all their zombie prior mistakes. So Neo Umbrella is basically like the cleanup crew who's like, hey, we're sorry, let's help, and the BSA are helping them. So they sent Chris to be their investigator, basically, to help them and also kind of see if they're actually legit. That's as much as we got from the actual Chris Redfield DLC. Not much else than that. He was there to capture the son Lucas, and I think you kill him off. I don't know if you capture him. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played it. I should probably replay it, and probably will replay it if I don't remember. The cover up. Local newspaper, the Dulvey Daily, July 30th, 2017. Sheriff's office say Baker family killed by natural gas. In a follow-up on the deaths of the Baker family on July 21st, the Dulvey County Sheriff's Office stated it is highly likely that their deaths were caused by a hydrogen sulfide leak. Oh, and by this organization, it was obviously Neo Umbrella that Chris Edfield wrote in on. The local areas are surrounded by wetlands, which combined with the concentration of pollution could have led to the buildup of toxic gas that claimed the lives of the Baker family. The leak has been blocked, however, the authorities have sealed off the area in order to prevent any further accidents. Is this so? It is canon that her uncle comes in to save the day and save Zoe's life, and he saves Zoe. So I'm wondering, did the uncle or Zoe write this because they were there? The victims included were deceased Jack Baker, Marguerite Baker, Lucas Baker, Zoe Baker, Dave Anderson, Clancy Javis, Andre Sticklin, and Pete Walken. Injured were Ethan Winters and Mia Winters. But Zoe doesn't die. The uncle came and saved her. But I wonder if, like, he got away without them noticing. Social media post, July 30, 2017. The toxic hydrogen sulfide gas? They're kidding, right? I heard they were soldiers, tanks, helicopters, the whole shebang when it happened. The government's up to something for sure. And here comes the conspiracy theorists. A bunch of nut jobs like you came out of the woodwork during Raccoon City incident too. But there was that black monster and that satellite photo of the shipwreck. You have to admit, something's fishy. Magazine Inspector, an interview with Sally Baldwin, professor of geological sciences at Minden University. Interviewer, so you don't agree with the report from the sheriff's office that it was a natural gas leak? We can't rule it out completely, but it's very unusual, all things considered. Hydrogen sulfide builds up in areas where there is a lot of volcanic activity. The town of Dulvey, however, has no volcanic activity anywhere in the area. My own geological survey in the 1998 revealed absolutely no hydrogen sulfide in the area. A tragic natural gas leak. That was the official stance on the Baker incident. But this is a complete fabrication. Nothing about the murders in that house, nothing about the terrifying monsters that stalk the halls and live within its walls. It's evident that someone was keeping the truth hidden. The thing that surprised me the most was the fact that my name was on the list of victims. The organization still had me in quarantine. I was terrified the whole thing would come to an end with me actually being among the deceased. Is it Clancy? Does Clancy get out if you succeed in 21? Thankfully, it was a needless fear. The organization gave me a new identity and let me go. I guess they figured I was harmless and didn't know anything else. I was allowed to live as a new person, apparently for my own safety. Who are you? It's either Zoe? No, because the uncle wasn't in there, I don't think. I don't think I saw the uncle's name. So it was either Zoe or it's Clancy. I don't remember the uncle's name. I think it was Joe something. Let's go back real quick. Is Joe on there? There's the four Baker. No, because the other Baker's not in there. Andre, Peter, and Clancy. Dave Anderson. Who's the sheriff? Is Sheriff Dave Anderson? Deputy Sheriff David. Yeah. So the uncle's not on the list. So it must be Zoe or Clancy. Because we know Andre's dead. Is it Peter? We never actually see Peter's corpse. We only see Andre's corpse. Is it Peter, maybe? But we never saw any videos of Peter. I tried to contact either the two other survivors, Ethan and Mia. They saved my life after all. I wanted to at least thank them, but they completely disappeared. It has to be Zoe, because they never met Peter. It had to be Zoe. I know the organization knows where they are, so I decided to investigate the BSAA. They were, like I said, they were working hand in hand with New Umbrella. The BSAA, which is the Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance, you meet them, in Resident Evil 5, in Revelations 2, a counter-bioterrorism organization sanctioned by the United States. It was formed to combat the rise in bioterrorism after the collapse of Umbrella Pharmaceuticals. They have combated terrorism across the world, including China and Europe, and are highly regarded as bioterrorist police. They're also in Resident Evil 6. The BSAA finally intervened in the Baker incident and were the ones that saved Ethan, Mia, and I. Not true. The Neo Umbrella was there being assisted by the BSAA. Thanks to my detainment in their facility, I have a pretty good idea of who their members are. I was very, very persuasive when it came to asking them about the organization and top secret documents. The topic I was most interested in was, of course, the Baker incident. I wanted to know the truth about the BSAA was hiding. The hidden truth. Magazine Inspector. The secret meeting between the sheriff and the international organization. One of our reporters have unearthed evidence that a secret meeting happened between Dulvey Sheriff Coleridge and an international organization known as the Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance, BSAA. Many have voiced their concerns around the legitimacy of the sheriff's office's statement that the incident at the Baker estate was caused by a toxic gas leak. The inspector suspects there might be more to the story, and the sheriff's office and BSA are covering something up. We reached out to the sheriff's office, but they refused to give a statement. Edgar McClintock. The BSA, hey, it's the BSAA logo! BSA Investigations Department, final report on the Baker incident. The following details the investigation into the biological disaster in Dolby, Louisiana, also known as the Baker incident. This document is for employees with Class B clearance and above. We've concluded that the Baker incident was caused by accidental contamination from a prototype bioweapon known as Evelyn. The residents of the Baker household were contaminated by a mold-like pathogen, munimicite. Evelyn was capable of rapidly producing this mold and enabled her to control those infected both mentally and physically. Now, the mold is very similar to kind of like how The Last of Us works. It's like a mold in the brain. The Baker family were not... That's why in the intro, it's like a black mold you see in the beginning of the... If you watch the... There's like a black mold growing with veins. That's what it represents. The Baker family were not the only victims. Evelyn manipulated the Bakers into kidnapping dozens of people. These victims were infected and mutated into monstrous creatures called molded. Which is why they didn't make other monster types, is because that was the only monster type she was capable of making. Besides, like, monster bugs and shit. And evil alligators. But, like, humanoid monsters, there weren't that many variations. Evelyn was originally created in a Munich research facility by the international crime syndicate, The Connections. The BCAA dispatched a team to destroy Evelyn. The mission, however, was not successful and Evelyn escaped. Evelyn was then transferred to America by the Connections and via ship along with her caretaker, Mia Winters. So Mia is literally a bad guy. This is what I was talking about. Mia is not a good person. She's working for villains. However, Evelyn managed to escape during transport. Surprise, surprise. She murdered most of the ship's crew and destroyed the ship. We believe she then abandoned the vessel that had washed up in the bayou near the Baker residence. The aforementioned operation to eliminate Evelyn was the BSAA's failing. We cannot deny that it resulted in Evelyn infecting the innocent civilians. The BSAA will have to take responsibility should these events ever come to light. So the BSAA tried to eliminate her before they got her on the ship, and they failed. As such, we advise the cover story is fed to the media, and the BSAA's involvement is kept quiet. Holy shit, so they fucked up again? The BSAA can't pull it together, man. The E-Series Munimicite Analysis Report. Biological Analysis Report on the E-Series Munimicite, henceforth referred to as Munimicite, recovered from the Baker residence. E-Series is much easier to say than Munimicite. The Munimicite has similar characteristics to Cladosporium, black mold, and has incredibly high reproductive properties. It acts like a parasite, infecting the cells and rewriting the DNA of its host. Furthermore, when it combines with other bacteria, it creates its own muscle tissue, brain, and nervous system. This stuff, now that we've covered the backstory, I don't know if this is as important. I don't know. We'll read it anyway, just in case. As such, an organism... I haven't played 7 in a while, so it kind of is helpful to be refreshed. But who is... This has to be Zoe, right? Or is it Clancy? I would love for Clancy to live. Clancy's awesome. As such, an organism infected with immunomycete transforms into a type of undead monster. End of report. Bioweapon report file. A human biological weapon constructed through the implantation of a immunomycete into a human embryo has the ability to infect with a fungal network and control hosts through brainwave signals. Evelyn was driven by a natural instinct to create a family, and the infected victims she controlled were her surrogate family. However, due to an innate defect in her chromosomes, Evelyn's cells reproduce at an accelerated rate, causing her to age rapidly then die. At the end, she was a grandma, and so you don't realize the grandma is Evelyn, this little girl, but the Evelyn little girl is just a mental projection being shot into everyone's brains. The Connections report. So back to the BSAA. The Connections is a crime syndicate with no base of operations. Their organizational structure is unknown. However, we are aware of their actions on a global level. In recent years, they've been particularly active in Eastern Europe. Most of their activities appear to revolve around the creation and selling of bioweapons. Evelyn was one of their products. Reliable sources have confirmed that the criminal organization was founded by Brandon Bailey. Bailey is a shrewd man and was once the right-hand man of Oswald E. Spencer. That's true. CEO and president of the Umbrella Corporation. His status and location currently are unknown. Bailey and Spencer became estranged due to differing visions, and Bailey used the connections he made working as the director of the Umbrella Africa Research Center. We read about him in RE5, off and found the crime syndicate. The organization's main goal appears to simply be commercial gain. Further investigations are in progress. And a report, like if you've seen my talk about the demo, there are a lot of different Umbrella families and other families outside of Umbrella that originally discovered this in Africa, which these strains that led to the T virus and this virus and all other, that it all stormed from like an asteroid way down in Africa, and it's all spread except for RE4. RE4 was another natural thing which came from a meteorite that they wanted to take and use, and which they used in Africa. The Lost Progress was taken from 4 to 5 in Africa to be enhanced. According to the BSAA's top secret documents, the Baker incident, as I know it, was just another statistical blip to be recorded. That fateful night when the tanker washed up in the bayou, Jack took that little girl from the shipwreck and into our home. Our home. It is Zoe. It is Zoe. Then she turned everyone crazy, made us into monsters. BSAA knew this when they manipulated the media and covered the whole thing up. An easy thing to do for an organization with a direct backing from the United Nations. They couldn't let anyone know it was them who let Evelyn, the cause of all this, escape. I continued to investigate and finally caught wind of Ethan and Mia's location. Where the Winters are. BSAA Investigations Department. Transcript of interview with Ethan Winters. Audio begins. Shall we begin then? Please state your name and occupation. Ethan Winters. I'm a systems engineer. How many times do we have to do this? When are you going to let us go? Our interviews until now have been necessary to conclude if you had any ulterior motives. Now, we understand that you were just an innocent victim in this whole incident, so you're going to let us go. Yes, but we have one condition. What's that? We would like you and your wife to remain under our supervision. In exchange, we'll provide you with a new home, a new country. What are you saying? You want us to take on new identities? Wait, a new country? You want us to move to another country? To a lovely country in Eastern Europe, to be precise. Europe? You gotta be kidding me. Why the hell would we... You are both witnesses to what happened. There was a certain criminal organization who was looking for you. We are doing this for your protection. Think of it more like witness protection. But all the way to Europe without any say? You can forget everything you've experienced here, start a new life. It's better for both of you that way. There's no way we can forget everything that happened. I want to talk to Mia about this. Let me talk to Mia. Audio ends. Mia literally was part of this. Why is she getting away free right off? This is bullshit. I'm upset that I didn't... My first playthrough, I saved Zoe. I didn't even save Mia. I went back and saved Mia a second time to get the achievement. Because Zoe, if you save her, just ends up turning to stone and freezes. And she dies anyway. And I'm just like, what? So it's like you kind of force to pick Mia. But then you figure out the uncle goes and saves her, so then it's a little bit better. The BSAA Investigations Department transcript of interview with Mia Winters. Audio begins. According to our examinations, you are mostly free of the mold now, Mia. Did you tell him? About my past? No. A sign of appreciation of your cooperation, the BSAA has not divulged your involvement with the connections. I just want to return to a normal life with Ethan to forget everything. The audio ends. Why? Why are they letting her get away with this? Ethan and Mia are in Europe! I was ecstatic that I finally had a clue into their whereabouts. However, that was where my investigation hit a brick wall. The BSAA security is tight, and even with some acquaintances helping me out, no one knew the Winters' exact location. Which makes sense when you consider an international crime syndicate is after him. 2 years passed and no progress. I ended up working as a rookie reporter for a small newspaper in New Orleans. The Baker incident has all but vanished from people's minds. Then one day a letter arrived at my tiny apartment. It was from none other than Mia Winters herself. Hey, how are you doing? It's been a while, hasn't it? The BSAA won't let us send any emails or letters, but I gave this directly to an employee to give to you, so it should be safe. Our location is still hidden. I have always wanted to tell you how thankful I am. Ethan and I would have died in that house if it hadn't been for you. It must have been hard to fight all alone for so long, so thank you. I can't tell you where we are, but we're safe and happy, and I feel like we've finally settled down in our new life. The house BSAA gave us is huge, I don't know what to do with it all. Oh, that reminds me, there's a reason I wanted to write you. Ethan and I had a baby, and I included a picture of her with this letter. I warn you, she's so cute. Oh, there's the baby. It's a baby. It's a baby. Happy half birthday, baby. Is that Mia? She looks so much nicer in this game. We named her Rosemary. Isn't it such a wonderful name? I hope you can come and see her someday. Ethan wants to see you too. I've learned all kinds of local dishes. I'm sure you'll like them. No need to reply. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Take care of yourself, okay? Sincerely, Mia Winters. A letter from Mia and Ethan out of nowhere, and they have a daughter? I'd almost given up finding them. I couldn't hold back the tears. I'm glad three of them, are happy in their new life. Just as I went to close the mailbox, I spotted another envelope. It was embossed with the BSAA logo. The sender unknown. Contained the following. The BSA headquarters warning letter to Chris Redfield. Chris, we are growing concerned with your recent activity. According to recent reports, you have taken personal control of an elite unit, the Hound Wolf Squad, without permission, and you've accessed a number of top secret documents also without permission. What the hell are you doing? What are you and your squad doing in Eastern Europe? Who the fuck is this Miranda and that keeps popping up in your correspondences? What's with the investigation into the Winters family? Oh, I'm so glad we read this, guys. I'm so glad we read this. You've been very critical of BSAA since the Baker incident. You might be one of the founding original 11, but I cannot let you continue the runaround unchecked. So I will repeat myself. What the hell are you doing? BSAA HQ investigations. There was one thing scribbled on the back of this. It's not over. What? Wait, did Chris get infected? Did Chris get infected in the Baker house? Does he maybe have a version of the mold in him? I don't know. First of all, it being like, what is it called? The Wolfhound? What is it called? The Hound Wolf Squad? If he's not a werewolf, what else would they be? He has to be a werewolf. There can't be. So the Baker incident isn't over. So is this a continuation of the Baker incident? Is Zoe gonna show up and save the day? This is everything I have on the Baker incident. It's purely for my own reference. I don't intend to send it out to the general public. I will continue my investigation. Many have tried to get in my way, slow me down, but I'm doing this for my family. I won't give up. I know that someday I'll be able to give Ethan and Mia my thanks directly. At least I pray I can. My name is Zoe Baker, a survivor in this tragedy. Do you hear the maker go, doom? I knew it was Zoe! I knew it was Zoe! I actually love Zoe. I'm so glad Zoe's alive and she's back. I'm so glad. I love Zoe. I like Zoe way better than Mia. Mia needs to go. She's fucking evil. What if Chris finds out that she's part of the connections, and out of his blind rage of trying to get through the connections, he's got to kill Mia and use Ethan's kid as a means to get to the connection, he's working with Miranda to get dirt on the connection so he can finally get the connections. I bet he's going like chaotic good, but he's doing some evil shit in the process to try to get his man, because that's some late game Chris Redfield shit. So that's my new theory, is that he's trying to get the connections, and he's using the Winters to get and Mother Miranda to get the info and the connections. That's what I think. I think he's looking for data.